One, two, three. All right, welcome back to the I really thought you guys were gonna do it.
Oh, I did. No, it's just the delay. I definitely did it.
Welcome back to the Chatting Average. John, that's Adam. He's using a Colorado shirt because the season, it starts tomorrow.
I mean, technically the season already started.
Okay, we're good on that. We don't need this.
We can't rehash
Honestly,
this.
the whole Japan series thing is just stupid. But shout out the Dodgers for starting 2-0. They're according to Fox MLB, they're the only team who can go 162 this year.
Yeah, I saw that graphic, which
is just wrong.
Just wrong.
Team other than the Cubs can go 162, and for the White Sox, it starts tomorrow.
I'm not sure about that last one.
Road to 0-162, baby.
Hey, let's take baby steps and not lose 120 games before we worry about winning all of them.
At what point? Adam, I'm sure you were on teams when you were a kid that went undefeated in a season, right?
I was on a team that went winless in a season.
Okay, same, but
no, I was never on a team that went undefeated. I was on some really good teams, but never a team that went undefeated.
We went on a team it was rec ball, like Cal Ripken, Little League stuff, but we went 17-0 and won the Natty or whatever you called the championship game. At what point can that not happen anymore? You know what I mean? At what point is it it's baseball?
Let's say a college season's 50 some games.
I don't think it's college.
A high school season's 30 some. I think high school probably might be the plateau just because of, more than level of talent. I think it has to do with how many games you play. You can't get lucky.
Yeah, I agree.
50 times in a row. You know what I mean? You can get lucky 15, but not 50.
I agree. It's weird because the team that I was on that was the 17-0 or whatever. We it was basically just the best player position in the league was on the team, and then there was me.
I would do it.
So it's kind of like what the Dodgers are doing. 162 games. I don't think that extrapolates from 17 to 162. So I don't think it's going to work. However, they do have 19 starting pitchers that they can start throughout the year. But anyways, season starts tomorrow. Season started already for the Dodgers and the Cubs. Everybody's got hope in their eyes. Adam thinks that the Rockies aren't going to lose 100 games this year. John thinks the Braves are winning the division.
That's optimism, baby.
And I think that the White Sox won't lose 122 games.
We will check in on all three of these bets at the end of the season.
However, one of the things we did at the beginning of this offseason, which now feels quite long ago, although it really isn't, because the MLB offseason is kind of short, it was a non-tendered DFA draft. It was both but so we did a fantasy draft. Adam, I think you can probably explain this a little.
So a fantasy team, so to speak, of 4 pitchers and 4 bats each that had been non-tendered by their big league clubs last offseason. We did this before they had signed any deals to join new clubs for the upcoming season, so we didn't know if they were going to get major league deals or minor league deals, camp invites, things of that nature, and we just had to pick 8 guys that we thought were going to have good bounce-back years after being non-tendered, and then at the end of the season, the way that we're going to try and tally this up is we're going to keep tabs on each of these players and the amount of Major League Baseball WAR that each team acquires will be how we determine who has the best draft. Do we want to start by revealing the teams? I know we did this on air already, but just as a reminder of everybody who these teams are.
Yeah, and then I guess give who your players are, what team they're on, and if they've made if they're slated for the big league club tomorrow for opening day.
I can get us started with my team, which has 4 players that made Major League Camp. That was Jordan Romano with the Phillies. He was my first pick and the first pick overall. Connor Gillespie makes the Marlins. Brendan Rodgers on a minor league deal makes the Astros. Brian De La Cruz makes the Braves. I have 2 players currently on the injured list, and Patrick Sandoval. He's on the 60-day IL, but expected to join the rotation for the Red Sox in May. And Nick Madrigal, who was injured in the first week of spring training for the Mets, and a report came out earlier this week that he may miss the remainder of the season. Bad pick on my part. I've got 2 guys in minor league camp right now. Tanner Rainey with the Pirates. He could see some major league time if Jared Jones' injury is as bad as it seems. And Brendan Davis in AAA with the Yankees. I think that was a bad pick. No redemption there. Mr. Lieber, who's on your squad?
Yeah, I had 7 of my 8 draft picks make the big league rosters, which I guess I'm looking good so far. That includes Griffin Canning, who's earning one of the 4 or 5 spots in the starting rotation for the New York Mets. Cal Quantrill looks like he'll be slated for a pitching position with the Marlins. Colin Poche makes the roster with the Nationals. Luis Patino is the only guy who doesn't make the big league roster. He's going to start in Padres AAA. Gavin Sheets off the non-roster invite with the Padres will make the bench spot. Ramon Laureano with the Orioles, Josh Rojas with the White Sox, and then finally John Birdie with the Cubs, all of those making the big league roster.
John Birdie, a sneaky good pick, by the way.
That is, yeah. He was pretty good in Tokyo.
I'm excited.
So. Mr. Sansoni.
Yeah, I had 4, just like Adam, that ended up making the roster. 2 pitchers and 2 hitters. Kyle Finnegan with the Nationals. He was non-tendered, but was brought back by the Nationals. I presume he's going to be a closer in the closer mix for them. Jacob Webb with the Rangers, a similar thing. He's been a back-end bullpen guy for a while now. I expect him, especially with Josh Boers being injured, I expect him to pick up a lot of that slack. Austin Hayes with the Reds likely will start in left field at some points in the season, although the Reds just have so many players. So the chance that he moves around is entirely possible. And Mike Tauchman with the White Sox might be the best contact hitter on the White Sox right now, I'd say. Maybe. He's one of the better hitters on the White Sox. Had a sneaky good slash line with the Cubs. Just kind of got pushed out with a bit of a roster log. As for the 4 players that didn't make it, JT Chargois with AAA in AAA for the Rangers, a back-end bullpen arm that might end up coming up as well. Alex Young, AAA with the Reds, he had a sneaky good season with the Mets last year. I expect him at some point later. What? Okay, alright, sorry. Sam Haggerty, AAA with the Rangers. I got an email for some reason. It didn't show up on the screen, but it gave me the email noise. Sam Haggerty with the Rangers. He plays literally every position. Every position, except for catcher. So he's, at some point, someone's going to get injured, and he's going to come up as well. Maybe that's Cope. That might just be Cope. And then Connor Joe with the Padres had a really good spring, but just kind of got beat out in that left field race. In a platoon with Jason Hayward, presumably got beat out by Brandon Lockridge, so he'll start in El Paso. And similarly, I think at some point Jason Hayward's going to get injured and he's going to come up.
I feel like across the board, 3 pretty solid teams, all things considered. I mean, obviously, for Mr. Sansoni and myself, we don't have all of our guys in the major leagues, but we have some guys that are going to contribute big time at that major league level, which is kind of what you're hoping If you get one guy that really hits, it can really lift your team as far as WAR goes. We will be monitoring these teams throughout the season, giving updates as guys go up, go down, have good streaks, things of that nature. Shall we move on to our second topic of the day?
I think we
For
shall.
sure.
Don't want to introduce. All right. So the past.
Wait, he said, hang on. What's he looking at us for? He goes, shall I move on to our second topic of the day?
I said
no, he didn't.
All
No.
right, you want me? I'll do it. I'll do it.
Check the tape.
Like,
I took a drink. You saw me take a drink. A drink is right here.
He has his orange juice. All right.
I had Chug Jug in my mouth.
I got my orange shoes too. It's early morning.
I don't have anything.
This is the time.
Early.
No, really not. It's 9:30 here.
Yeah, it's 10:30.
Okay.
Over the past 6 weeks, I don't know if you all noticed.
You're not that guy.
What? I don't know if you all noticed, but we have done a bunch of divisional previews. And we've gone through every division so far. That's right, every division.
Whoa.
And
we run a pretty good show here. I didn't realize.
We run a pretty tight ship. So
I don't know if
except for my computer going at open revolt against me a couple times already so far, but we've handled it. We've quelled the beast so far. As for our predictions, we think that they're pretty sound. So we're going to go through really lightning round, just listing off our 1 through 5, and then that leads us into the playoff picture. So, Mr. Lieber, you pointed at yourself. You went.
No, I was going to ask you to explain the MLB playoff picture real quick. Obviously, 3 divisional winners.
Yes.
3 wild card teams.
Yes.
Okay. So I think the way that we do this, because we don't ever discuss anything prior.
Correct.
True.
I think the way that we do this is read out our 5 for each division. And then go, okay, obviously my division winner is the Mets. They make the playoffs. Does anybody else from that division make the playoffs as a wild card team? And then you just continue on that way.
Okay.
And then we just need 6 teams from each league. Does anybody have a league and division they'd love to start with?
I would love to start with the American League East, and we can just go in the order that we did our divisional previews.
Fine.
If you're good with that.
Okay.
Fine. Who would like to start? All right, I'll start. In the American League East, I had the Orioles, Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays in divisional order, which means the Orioles make the playoffs for me. And hang on. Make a quick decision here. Yeah, the Yankees and the Red Sox also both make the playoffs. Somebody should write this down.
Okay.
I'm getting a notepad. Hold on.
I'm writing it in our notes. Calm down. Gosh.
We should really start having actual production meetings.
We should, but
well, you know what? Jose Bautista never helps. So.
Well, yeah, that is true.
That's true.
He hasn't chimed in the group chat in 3 months.
Right. Exactly.
You think Yankees and Sox are going to make it, huh?
Yeah, that's what I said, John.
It was more so me doubting you. I don't know why I said.
Why are you putting East, bro?
I forgot.
Somebody read out their division.
All right, I'm gonna go. So for my 5, I had the Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays, Rays. I think the Yankees and the Red Sox are gonna make it. Those are my 2 I'm certain of. I think the Orioles can do it too, but for the sake of intrigue, I'm not gonna put them in here. So I think Yankees and Red Sox make it.
Am I going to follow the trend and go with 3 teams out of the American League East? I am not. I had the Orioles and the Yankees as the top two teams in the division. The Rays in place, Red Sox in fourth, Blue Jays in fifth. I think the Rays have a good year, but I have them just missing out on that playoff picture. I'll take the Orioles and the Yankees as a wild card.
Interesting. Okay, now we go to the American League Central, where I had the Royals, Tigers, Guardians, Twins, and White Sox in divisional order. My only playoff team from the American League Central is the Royals.
Yeah,
Mr.
I think I'm in a similar boat here. So I have Royals, Tigers, Guardians, Twins, White Sox. White Sox, surprise, aren't going to make it. Twins
Dude,
won't.
Come on.
Twins won't either, but this is a division where I feel that they could honestly repeat some of the success they had last year in pushing teams to the playoffs. I think Tigers and Guards make it again, and that rounds out the wild card.
From worst to first in the division for me, White Sox last, Twins, Guardians, Royals, Tigers. I took two teams from the American League East. I'm going to take two teams from the American League Central as well. The Tigers win the division. The Royals grab a wild card spot behind a 10-win season for Mr. Bobby Witt Jr. He's taken home American League MVP.
Thanks for at least saying the White Sox first. That was nice of you. All right, what are we moving on to? The American League West?
Let's just round up the AL.
Logically, that would make sense.
All right, I have two. Fuck off.
Oh, no, man, no.
I have two playoff spots left. Well, I guess you're going to get them here. However, I'll go worst to first. In the American League West, it goes worst first. Angels, Astros, A's, Mariners, and Rangers. That means I've got the Rangers winning the division, so they automatically get a playoff spot. And then I have the Mariners taking not the final playoff spot, not the final wildcard spot in like the league, but the final on the list. I think probably the final wildcard spot from my teams is the Red Sox, but we'll have to see.
This is the AL West prediction that got me called fake sharp by Jonathan Lidskin. My five from bottom to top in the AL West is Angels, Rangers, Mariners, Astros, Athletics. Athletics win the AL West. I don't think this is going to be a good AL West. I think this is going to be a dog pile, and the A's win by doing nothing.
I'd like to point out that John is a very good human being, and he doesn't smoke any drugs.
I don't know what he's thinking. Completely sober. It was like 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. And I made it completely sober. Just thought you should know.
Now, Adam, on the other hand,
he's in Colorado. I'm not going to judge.
We're rounding out the American League here, and of course, that's the American League West. As I vamp for time, as I scroll, worst to first for me, the Angels, then the Sacramento A's, the Houston Astros. I had finishing third. I thought that was bold until I heard John's higher list. The Rangers in second, the Mariners in first. I'm going to round out the two-team sweep in the American League. We're taking the top two teams in every division to make the playoffs. For me, that is the Mariners and the Rangers getting a little redemption after a flat last season. Not exactly defending their World Series crown anymore, but I think they this season proved they were more than just a one.
Let's move over to the senior circuit then.
The senior circuit.
Yes, the
The
National League.
National League.
Ah, yes. I forgot. We have a whole
That
other
is
side
the
of the league to
senior
do.
circuit, right?
Sure, I think that's what senior circuit means.
What are you talking about? Anyways, in the National League East, because that's where we start, I had from worst to first the Nationals, the Phillies, the Braves, and then the Mets.
Did he say the Marlins?
Yeah.
Okay, then you must have cut out because to me it sounded like you just went the Nationals and like you never said the Marlins, which is fair for this Marlins team. But I just wanted to make sure
All right, fine. The Marlins, the Nationals, the Phillies, the Braves, the Mets.
All right.
Which means I have the Mets winning the division, followed by the Braves and the Phillies both making the playoffs. No, I lied. I'm taking that back. Followed by the Braves making the playoffs.
No Phillies.
Hang on, Siri's talking to me. Why are you talking to me?
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and go while you argue with
please.
the AI on your wrist.
All of this could have been avoided if we had just, done show
all of this could have been avoided. My NL East is similar until the top two. I have Marlins, Nationals, Phillies, then Mets. Braves come out on top. They win the division, although the Mets and the Phillies will make the postseason. The top two could really go at either way, but I gave the Braves the edge on this one.
Yeah, for me, this division's a 3-horse race. It's the Marlins and the Nationals at the bottom, and then it's everyone else. The way that I see it stacking up is Braves get healthy. They win the division this year. Phillies stay healthy. They finish about 3 games ahead of the Mets, but all 3 teams are going to make that playoff picture. I have the Mets as my last team in as a wild card. And now we go back to Mr. Lieber.
On to the National League Central. From worst to first, I apologize. I sent you guys the screenshots of these things written down, and like 3 of them are out of order of like which John is where on the screen. And I was just having a panic attack that I was reading through all of these wrong. But for the National League Central,
I like that I'm in the middle except for the NL East.
What we
obviously set an order after I started writing it down, and then after the second week, I was like, "This should look uniform."
Yep.
All right. Well,
the best part is on the it's out of order compared to what we've written down. So I have to like use my brain. In the National League Central, I have from worst to first the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Reds, the Brewers, and the Cubs. And I think.
You think?
I think only the Cubs make it from this division. Nope. Yeah. Nope. I'm taking 2 per division. I'm gonna take the Brewers also make it.
Okay. I have the same 5 as him. Cardinals, Pirates, Reds, and then Brewers, Cubs win it from bottom to top. But I'm only taking 1 because I'm not crazy. I'm taking the Cubs only. I don't think the Brewers are going to be a playoff team this year. And don't fact check me on that. I might have said it earlier that I thought they were a playoff team. They might be good enough. I never said that. Never fact check me.
Me personally, I remember John Sansoni telling us that they were going to win the division earlier this year. Don't you, Adam?
Certainly that's an episode of the Chatting Average that you can listen to.
You can.
On
you can
Spotify
find them
or on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, that's us.
YouTube, perhaps.
On YouTube too. I make a lot of effort in getting those YouTube videos up. So
it's true. It's true. The National League Central for me will be the weakest division in baseball this year. I had a bit of a different order than what you guys had. I had Cardinals last, Pirates second to last, Brewers Cubs, Reds. I've been fooled by the Reds before. I have them winning the division this year, which means that I'm more than likely going to be fooled by them again. But I'm riding with them this year, and because this is the weakest division in baseball, the Cincinnati Reds are the only team that I'm taking to make the playoff picture. I have the Cubs missing out on a wild card spot, and I think that Mr. Jed Hoyer's career will come to an end as a result of that.
Can I make an adjustment? No Brewers.
No Brewers.
All right, NL West. Let's go, Brewers. NL West. From worst to first, I'm sorry, the Rockies, the Giants, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Dullhares. Obviously, the Dullhares win the division because they're paying off their 1973 team this year. And then the Diamondbacks and the Padres both make it. And the Diamondbacks, once again, play for rings in the desert. Except for this time, they're playing for the little candy rings. Ring pop.
Ring pops.
Yep, ring pop. So
shout out ring pops.
Shout out
what
ring
John
pop.
has neglected to mention is we all have the same 5.
Correct.
Oh, my bad.
We have the same
This is
exact
the only
ranking.
division that we all agreed on.
We all think that the Rockies are 5th, the Giants
Yes.
are 4th, the Padres are 3rd, the Diamondbacks are 2nd, and the Dodgers are a clear 1st. Where we might differ is how many playoff teams there are. I think the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks make it out. I don't think the Padres do. I think they're going to be that team that's like one game out. They're going to be like so close to getting it, and they'll Padres something right at the end, and they won't make it. They do still play for rings in the desert, but they're the spooky spider rings you find in Halloween.
That's true. That's actually factual. I have the exact same lineup as Mr. Sansoni. Obviously, all three of us agreed for once. That doesn't ever happen.
I hate these guys. There's a lot of beef in the chatting average.
That's true. We all agreed on the order that the NL West is going to stack up on. I've got 2 teams left. Obviously, the Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. I have the D-backs sneaking in as that final wild card spot. I don't feel good about the D-backs this year. I don't think they're going to make noise in the playoffs, but I do have them sneaking in to that final wild card spot. Do we want to give playoff predictions now? I guess we haven't really seeded our teams or anything like that. How do we want to go?
We haven't. I don't know how we want to do playoff predictions because we haven't seeded them. That's the issue.
We can just throw out our World Series and who wins it.
Sure. You want me to start?
Yes, I do. That's the order we're going.
My World Series, and I will defy the odds. From the National League, your 2025 World Series contender is the New York Mets. They beat the Dodgers in the NLCS to make the World Series. I don't know. Did John think I was going to go with the Diamondbacks or something? Because, the way he reacted to me saying, the second best team in the league was, for me. And then from the American League, your American League contender is the Rangers make it back.
Wow.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Okay. I don't feel that bad about the Athletics anymore.
Interesting. I have a point that I want to bring up about the Rangers, but we can get to that after we're all done with our predictions.
So, conversely, the Rangers aren't even in my playoff picture. Yeah, the Rangers aren't in my playoff picture, so I can't repeat what John did.
Thank God.
From the NL,
I don't like John.
From the NL.
Clearly, we have a lot of disagreements here.
No, we don't. Clearly, from the NL, it's got to be Dodgers, Cubs, or Braves. I don't think it'll be the Mets. I don't think it'll be the D-backs. I don't think it'll be the Phillies. It's going to be one of the division winners. It's tough for me to think the Dodgers, but I honestly feel like they might actually get tripped up at some point. Like, this isn't an infallible roster. It's incredibly good, but every baseball team deals with issues of stamina, injury, playing a long series. And if the Dodgers get a bye, like I think they will, they might end up cold. So
what happened last year?
It's what happened last year. I think the Cubs make it.
Ooh.
I think they do.
Wow. A Cubs team I did not have in my playoff picture.
I mean, John made the Rangers in the World Series, so
yeah.
well,
as for the AL, it's not the Athletics. I'm sorry, it's not. I know everyone.
How are you gonna pick them and then not pick them? That's crazy.
How are you gonna get fired on your day off? I think honestly, the Red Sox.
Wow.
Okay, I agree with Jonathan Lidskin. I agree with Jonathan Lidskin. Fake sharp of the chatting average.
No.
I cannot wait for these graphics to be released on Twitter.
This is gonna
fake sharp.
I'm gonna get tagged like 10 times. It's gonna be terrible.
Maybe on Twitter, this is a way we push all of you listeners to follow the Twitter or the X, the everything app. We'll seed our teams.
Yes, we will do.
And then that way, I'll just put a playoff picture out with a World Series. We don't have to. I guess we don't have to. We could pick who B2, or we just hey, this is the World Series. Anyways,
I'll start with my American League and go to my National League. So I think my National League is going to surprise more people. My American League, for the second year in a row, I have the Orioles of Baltimore going to the World Series. They have yet to win a single playoff game with this core of players after, going into year 3 now of this core really being impact players at the major league level, year 2 for some of them. I think this is the year it really clicks. I think they waltz through the American League playoff picture. In the National League, I believe there is one team in baseball, one team anywhere in the globe that can beat the Los Angeles Dodgers in a 5-7 game playoff series. And I believe that team is the Atlanta Braves. The Braves are winning the NL. The Braves are winning the World Series. Talk about a redemption story.
I want to make dumb decisions.
All right, John. I'm just not gonna.
That wasn't very nice of you.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're not though.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
So,
do we want to talk baseball news? Do we want to talk?
Yeah, sure. There was a prospect. There was not exactly a prospect trade. Former ex-top prospects trade between the Cleveland Guardians and your Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, that did happen.
Nolan Jones.
Back to the Guardians.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I don't really understand it. I mean,
I don't think anybody does.
If Nolan Jones was not in the team's long-term plans, right? I mean, it's not like he's old. He's 26. But if the Rockies seriously think they're that far away from competing, I understand trying to flip him. I don't understand trading him back to the Guardians because you've already given the Guardians a prospect to get him in the first place. Now you're trading him away for Tyler Freeman, who, no disrespect to Tyler Freeman, but is somebody that basically will play second base until Thairo Estrada is healthy and then will not play ever again. This is not a good deal for us. There are very few ways that this trade ends up as a win for one of those ways, unfortunately, is Nolan Jones just falling off of a cliff. And frankly, I don't see that happening. This was a head-scratching move to me. Maybe you guys can make more sense of it just being removed from the team a little bit more. But for me, I don't see any point to this.
I'll be honest. when I saw it come through, I was kind of confused.
Yeah, it makes two of us.
It's kind of like, okay, so did the Rockies not want to try competing at any point in the future? It's like, why are you getting rid of players that have been good for you? I don't know. I don't really get it.
A lot of when the team traded away prime Dexter Fowler, for Brandon Barnes and Jordan Lyles. That was kind of signaling back. I'm trying to remember what year that was, 2011 perhaps, but it was kind of signaling like, this is the end of this era. We are clearing house. It's over. And I don't really think the Rockies have had any era to be able to clear house from. Is that fair to say? Like, the dudes that sucked have sucked because you've dug yourself in a hole that those are the guys you have to. There's no purging that roster because the roster is already bad.
Right. Yeah. I think this is a trade that I think is confusing on an intrapersonal level. Tyler Freeman and Nolan Jones are friends from when they were both in the Guardians system. And Tyler Freeman had a recent interview where he said they called each other and they were both like, "Oh, I got traded," but they didn't know where yet because like they both got pulled from their games. And then they found out they were traded for each other, which made an incredibly interesting confusing,
frankly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And the way I see it, Tyler Freeman played a lot of center field for the Guardians, right? He has plus speed, and he's a passable enough defender with that speed. He provides that positional flexibility, almost like if Tommy Edman couldn't really hit as well.
I don't think his glove is as good at any position as what Edmonds is, I will say.
Right. He's like diet Tommy Edman.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, middle infield and outfield versatility. I agree. He probably will sit at second and also kind of be baby Kyle Farmer in that sense. Like he might slide to second or third, just depending. As for Nolan Jones, I mean, the Cleveland outfield has historically always been a little crowded. That's why he got traded in the first place. He's kind of landlocked to a corner outfield or DH just by virtue of he has got a fantastic arm. That's why he got moved from the corner infield to corner outfield. But he doesn't really grade out fantastically defensively outside of that arm. And his bat is normally pretty good. That's what carries his value, but he's been dealing with injury that really muddies those waters. So I think this is definitely a change of scenery move for both players involved. You know, a straight 1-to-1 player swap isn't super common, especially not in the off season like it is right now. So you might not see them produce very much just to start because all of a sudden they've completely changed 2 days out from opening day.
Right.
So I would hedge your expectations a little bit for the first couple weeks of the season, just because all of a sudden they're in a very new position and they need to get their feet back under them.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. Strange to be doing this deal this late in the spring training season. Also, a couple other trends that I want to hit on quickly. Something that we're seeing around Major League Baseball this week is rosters are finalized for the regular season. We're seeing an outbreak, I think, in Major League Baseball right now of guys that are just flying through the minor leagues. Some guys that never even made a minor league debut breaking camp with the Major League club. I think the biggest name at the top of this list is Cam Smith over with the Astros. Came over in the Kyle Tucker trade, if I'm not mistaken. Did not make his debut with the Cubs last year after being drafted in the second round. He's going to break camp with the big league club for the Astros. That kind of meteoric rise doesn't happen very often, but we've seen a handful of guys that are doing that this year. The Angels have a guy like that as well. It's interesting. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's, if you're ready, I mean, like Garrett Crochet never made his minor league debut, but it was in a weird 2020 season, right? So like,
there wasn't a minor league season for.
There wasn't a minor league season. There were weird taxi squads in Rosemont, Illinois. But like, I don't know. Like, my thing was like Paul Skeens should have just started pitching. I don't know why. Like, who cares about his service time clock? Like, if they're ready to, if they don't need to make minor league debuts, if you think that they can perform at the major league level. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's how I feel. I'd like, if I've got guys good enough to play for me like right now, I'd rather them play for me than us go, okay, well, we're going to play this guy for 2 months and then we're going to call up a different guy. Because, like, the idea is like, the guys that you're going to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Service time manipulation to me is very unaesthetic. I understand why teams do it. I understand why it's a loophole that hasn't really been patched. But, like, if you're actively tanking the first month and a half of the season in order of preserving one less year of having to pay the guy in free agency, like, that's strange. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't get, like, for me, I just don't get the whole thing with, like, Chris Bryant, I think, is the most obvious, most,
he's the poster child for it.
Yeah, poster child of time manipulation. It's like, well, we're going to call him up, but we don't want to call him up now. And then, like, they did it so horribly that they were yo-yoing him for like 3 months. They're like, we want you to play this week, but then you're going to go back to Iowa. And it was like, keep him in Iowa and just call him up in September. Like, if you're going to, like, the kid's moving places every 3 days at that point. It's like, do you expect him to figure out what he wants to do? I don't know. If you know that you're going to call the guy up in June, just call him up at the end of March. Just put him on the opening day roster. Give him the full year. And if you were planning on pulling him up in June, you were planning on not being as good as your full potential is for the first 3 months of the season. So why does it matter if he comes up and he sucks right away? That's true. It was the Jackson Holiday thing. It's like, why call him up and then send him back down? Let him figure it out. The kid's got talent.
That's the point I want to get at, is that it's by yo-yoing like Chris Bryant was, you just break any rhythm. Baseball is a game of rhythm. A lot of it comes in the routine you build, in the minor adjustments you make. And honestly, what better place to make that than with a major league coaching staff being like, hey, we're going to let you, we have 162 games for you to figure this out. We have nothing but time. You know, we want to help you. Obviously, if you can produce for us, we can produce for you. We're not just going to have like a 300 OPS guy just sitting in the middle of the order. Like, we got to make the requisite adjustments. But if you want help, we're here to help. And at the same time, minor leagues are still incredibly important for experience. You're seeing players come in younger and younger, and it helps a lot with physical development as well when you're signing players from international signings, for example. You know, these are kids that are not even graduating high school age. You know, so it helps not only them, like, it helps you with physical projection of being like, okay, what are we actually going to tangibly receive from this guy? But it also gives you the chance to get them in staffs, because they might have just been learning in a backlot for most of their life. Like, they could have been, like, you could have had people who are, haven't really experienced the rigor of a professional style season. And so you come to this now, it's like, yes, players like Paul Skeens, Garrett Crochet, Chris Bryant are incredibly talented. They've lived baseball for a while. And the concern with Paul Skeens was service time, but it was also, does he have the stamina to not just be a Sunday starter, or, not just be your guy once a week in baseball, in college baseball. Like, it's not the same. So a lot of it is small adjustments. I think, yes, the trend is increasing, but I don't think it signals like the death of the prospect. I think a lot of it is just teams are finding new ways to make sure that the prospects they have more long-term success. I don't like service time manipulation. I think it's stupid. But there's not, at the end of at the end of the day, wow, that's a phrase I've said a lot recently. You can't attribute service time manipulation to the prospects being too good for the minors. That's just the front office. If you're a player, I don't even know if you're really thinking about service time.
I think that's a very valid point. The other name that I was trying to pull, by the way, Ryan Johnson, breaking camp with the Los Angeles Angels after being a second-round pick out of Dallas Baptist last year, did not appear in the minors in the second half of last season, so he will make his professional debut at the big league level. Any final things we want to hit on, or should we go straight to grid?
It's grid time.
Grid time.
John Lieber, what is the Immaculate Grid?
The Immaculate Grid is a 3x3 grid with 9 intersections. You have to match those intersections. Again, 724 days later, if you don't know what it is, type in Immaculate Grid and you'll find it. Today's grid, row 1, Los Atlanta Braves. Row 2, Los Dodgers. Row 3, a 10-win season pitching. Column 1, Tampa Bay Rays. Column 2, the Seattle Mariners. And column 3, Rookie of the Year.
All right. I feel good about this Braves row, except for Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year could go a few ways, but I have 2 pretty good ones for Braves Rays and Braves Mariners.
Sure, go ahead.
So Braves Rays, current I guess now FanDuel Sports TV South analyst. I don't know. They changed the name 3 times. Colin McHugh. Colin with 2 L's.
McHugh?
McHugh, yes.
McHugh.
I was spelling his last name wrong. Go ahead.
Braves Mariners. Noted Yankee Mike Ford. Noted Oriole as well.
Solid.
No, that was Rylan Bannon. Never mind. Braves Rookie of the Year. I mean,
they've had a couple recently, but I feel like both recently be high percentage picks.
I'm thinking David Justice or Rafael Furcal.
My mind went to Craig Kimbrell, but I'm fine with
Craig Kimbrell. Craig Kimbrell could be it too. I worry because he still plays. He's on. Who
was the second one that you said?
Rafael Furcal.
What do we think about that?
That's fine by me.
I don't think any of these Rookie of the Year picks are going to necessarily be our lowest percentage. I think these are going to be kind of tough to work down.
Furcal's 7%, so not bad.
For Rookie of the Year, I'm okay with that. Because
I have a Tampa Bay 10-win season.
Okay.
Jake Odorizzi.
Yes, yes. Noted Atlanta Brave. Traded for Will Smith from the Houston Astros.
Nice.
0.5.
I have a Mariner 10-win.
Okay.
Noted White Sox, Chris Flexen.
Love that guy.
Noted Rocky, Chris Flexen.
You know, that is true.
Noted Mariner, Chris Flexen.
I've got Dodgers if we want to throw Dodgers.
Sure.
Some Dodgers.
I need a Dodgers Rookie of the Year.
Dodgers Rookie of the Year. My mind immediately went to Fernando Valenzuela, but I'm sure everybody else's mind immediately. Well, so how do we feel about Hideo?
Ooh, Hideo Nomo. That could be good.
Like the only man to ever throw a no-hitter at Coors Field.
5%.
That'll work. Dodgers Mariners. Tyler Anderson.
Or Kevin Kiermaier.
I feel like Anderson would be lower.
I meant that for Rays.
Oh. For Rays, I was looking at Ryan Yarbrough, but I'm fine with either.
John, you pick.
For Rays Dodgers, Ryan Yarbrough.
Yeah.
Rays
or
Dodgers,
Kevin
either
Kiermaier?
Kevin Kiermaier or Ryan Yarbrough.
Ryan Yarbrough.
And then I need a 10-plus win Rookie of the Year winner.
I mean, Hideo Nomo did that, but we can't.
That's
Can't use
true.
him. Did Valenzuela have one?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
I mean, like, he kind of had to, right? Like, there's no way he didn't.
At some point, you would think.
I mean, otherwise, you're looking at other Rookie of the Years, like Skeens, but that's not.
How about former Colorado Rocky Jason Jennings?
Sure. I didn't.
Sure. 1%. Final score of 18. Hardest spot on the grid today. Braves Mariners. Number one spot, or number one answer in that spot was Jared Kelenic.
Yeah.
Big names on the number one answers. Ronald Acuna Jr., Tyler Glasnow, Adrian Beltre, Cody Bellinger, David Price, Felix Hernandez, Paul Skeens, Fred McGriff. Anyways, only 9 Rookie of the Years for the Braves.
That's kind of surprising, honestly, for as long as that franchise has been around.
See frozen on your screen
too?
So
I'm frozen on my own screen. I don't know
frozen.
how.
He's like,
guys, I can see it frozen on my screen as well. It's quite nerve-wracking.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny. All right. In case Adam blows up here in a minute, let's just cut this show pretty quick here.
Right.
Follow us on Twitter or X, John.
The everything
at the chatting AVG. We just tweeted our National League predictions. Go check them out.
You can't tell me I have my hands over my head right now.
Guys, shout out me, because during this entire episode, I was putting those graphics together.
I know. And it told me because there was a new login from a new device for at the chatting AVG, and it warned me about it.
Oh, yeah, because last episode, we did our 5 minutes to rant, and I ranted about, you should start using Firefox. So I have to, re-log into Firefox, or, logging into things on Firefox instead of Safari. So, I had to, find the chatting average Twitter login and everything, which is, no, just kidding. I'm not going to tell you that.
Jeez, don't do that.
But, yeah, that's out. Our playoff picture may be out somewhat soon. I don't know. But the baseball starts tomorrow. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the chatting average. And we'll see you next week for our first weekend series recap of the year.
Oh, it's so good to be back.
It's great to be back.
Any final thoughts, Adam? You can only use only in your audio medium.
Yeah, I'm actually doing sign language right now to say follow us on X.
Yes, check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts. Rate us the highest possible thing you can for anything. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified every time we... Oh, man, I feel like a Minecraft YouTuber. Anyway. That's it from us. Anything else, John?
No.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Chatting Average. We will catch you same time, same place next week.
Adios.
Audio.